Bushra al-Assad is the eldest and only sister of Syria's notorious president, Bashar al-Assad. Today, Bushra remains one of the most mysterious figures in the Assad family. Like a gray cardinal, she wielded considerable power in the country, but was almost never seen in public. Moreover, Bushra's life was filled with tragedy, and she had to fight for her happiness as a woman. What happened to her after she fled Syria? And where is she now? Why did the Assad clan oppose her marriage? And why did she have a never-ending conflict with former First Lady Asma al-Assad? Watch the video to the end to uncover the truth that has been hidden for so long. Let's begin. For more than 50 years, the Assad family held power in Syria, beginning with Hafez al-Assad's rise to power in the 1970s. This clan used strict control and repression to maintain its authority. The life of fear and oppression for ordinary citizens finally ended on the 8th day of December 24. Opposition forces seized power, forcing former President Bashar al-Assad and his family to flee the country. Among the key figures in this clan was Bushra al-Assad, the only daughter of the powerful Syrian dictator Hafez al-Assad. She was his first and favorite child. It was even rumored that if she hadn't been born a woman, Hafez would have given her the reins of the country. But unfortunately, in the Arab world, a woman cannot lead a state or an Arab family clan, especially an Alawite one. Among Alawites, the role of women is even more diminished than among other Muslims. Perhaps that is why there are only childhood photos of her online, and only a few before her marriage. Bushra was born in Damascus in 1960. Before her, her parents had a daughter also named Bushra, but she died in infancy. They gave their second daughter the same name, as if to preserve the memory of the first. Bushra was the only daughter of 5 children. Her younger brothers, Basel, Bashar, Meher, and Majid, became prominent figures in Syrian politics and military affairs. They were the ones who nearly ruined their sister's life to save her from disgrace. But how did the forbidden romance of the daughter of the all-powerful Hafez al-Assad change her fate and threaten the entire dynasty? The president's daughter was educated at Damascus University, where she studied pharmacy. During her studies, she met Asif Shawkat, an ordinary officer in the Syrian army. They fell in love at first sight, but there were many insurmountable obstacles on their way to happiness. Asif was 10 years older, already married, and the father of 5 children. Most importantly, he came from a simple, poor family and was not considered a suitable match for this Damascene princess. Of course, Hafez al-Assad himself had humble origins, but by then he was an all-powerful ruler whose name resonated throughout the world. This unequal relationship was a blow to the Assad family. Hafez believed that this poor officer saw his daughter only as a means to power, while her brothers considered the relationship an embarrassment and were willing to do anything to separate the couple. Her brother Basil was particularly determined to break them up. Once, when he caught the couple together, Basil beat his sister severely. He also had Asif temporarily imprisoned to disrupt their relationship. In January 1994, tragedy struck. Basil was killed in a car accident. Some malicious tongues speculated that his sister might have been involved in his death, but few believed it. There were many rumors of conspiracies among the elite, but the official explanation remained a simple accident in bad weather conditions. While the Assad family mourned, the lovers fled to Rome and married in secret, despite threats from their parents and other relatives. Perhaps the unwavering perseverance of these two people softened the father's heart in time. The old Assad gradually came to terms with their relationship and brought them back to the presidential palace. The couple had 5 children, all named after close members of the Assad family: Bushra, Anisa, Basil, Naya, and Hafez. Bushra's husband quickly rose through the ranks, becoming head of military intelligence and then deputy defense minister. However, it seemed that Asif never fully became part of the Assad clan. He had difficulty getting along with Bushra's younger brother Meher, who commanded the National Guard. In 1999, a serious conflict broke out between them, during which Meher shot Asif in the stomach. Fortunately, everything ended well for everyone involved and no one was punished. It seems that Asif was not the only outsider in the family. From the beginning, Bushra did not like Asma, the wife of her brother Bashar. But what happened between them, and why did their conflict escalate? Bushra was very close to her father and played an important role in running the country, especially as his health began to deteriorate. She made critical decisions and even worked in an office next to her father's in the presidential palace. Many believed she was being groomed for the presidency. However, this role was later passed on to her younger brother Bassel and after his death, to Bashar. Bushra, with her opinion of Bashar's medical background, considered him unfit to be president. Her tension with his wife, Asma, only added to the discord. After marrying Bashar al-Assad in 2001, Asma began to appear frequently in public and in the media, challenging the traditional role of women in Syrian society. Bushra, accustomed to a more private and traditional approach, strongly disapproved of Asma's activism and public visibility, which only exacerbated their disagreements. Most likely, Bushra was concerned about Asma's growing popularity and the inevitable rivalry between them. Bushra's influence in state affairs grew even stronger after Bassel's death. One of her most significant achievements was the establishment of Syria's pharmaceutical industry. Even now, despite the destruction of Aleppo, the center of Syria's pharmaceutical industry during the intense fighting and the economic sanctions imposed on the country, Syria continues to provide itself with essential medicines from its own reserves. Much of this is due to Bushra's efforts. When the uprising against the Assad regime began in March 2011, the United States and the European Union initially avoided imposing sanctions on Bushra and Bashar's wife, Asma. Perhaps there was hope that these two powerful women could influence the Syrian president to take a more conciliatory approach. However, both women remained staunch supporters of the regime and fully supported the government's repressive measures against the Syrian opposition forces. As a result, Bushra, Asma, and Bashar's mother had their European bank accounts frozen and were banned from entering the European Union. In 2012, an event occurred that changed Bushra al-Assad's life forever. She lost the man she had loved all her life. In the midst of the Syrian civil war, her husband, Asif Shawkat, was killed when a bomb exploded during a meeting in Damascus. The threat to her family continued to grow, and she decided to leave Syria. She and her 5 children moved to Dubai. This move was seen in Syria as an escape due to disagreements with her brother over the country's conflict. But it was probably the only safe option for a woman who had lost everything: her husband, her stability, and her influence in the country. In 2013, Bushra was joined in Dubai by her mother, Anisa Makhlouf. She spent the last 3 years of her life there and died without seeing the end of her family's rule. Anisa left her daughter and grandchildren with a heavy burden of exile and memories of the past. Despite the sanctions, Bushra and her children continued to travel to Europe. In 2019, it was revealed that her daughter Anisa was studying at the University of the Arts London in violation of the sanctions imposed on her family. However, the National Crime Agency later froze her bank account, confiscating over $30,000. Bushra is now 64 years old. She still lives in Dubai with her children and leads a private and quiet life. She does not comment on the events in her homeland and remains silent despite the circumstances. What do you think? Could Bushra al-Assad have led Syria? Or is there no place for a woman in power in a country with such unstable political conditions, where even men struggle to succeed? Share your thoughts. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.